Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you about getting through the changing energies that we're going through. I talked about this in a previous podcast that 2019 was the ending of cycles and that 2020 is the beginning of new cycles, new energetic cycles in our lives. But what I didn't mention is that the beginning part of 2020 is still the closing out of those cycles. Because if you've had any kind of 2020 like I have, you're like, what? What is going on here? This is crazy energy. And I totally get that. It has been for me. But I was just channeling some messages from the universe for my Instagram video that I was doing the other day. And the messages that I was getting was that be patient, have faith, good things are coming. You're still closing out cycles. We tend to be so time focused and that everything has to be linear that we forget that the universe does not work that way. It's just our human brains that work that way, and our humanness that says everything has to be at this time and at this time and at this time. So when we talk about closing out cycles, like January 1st did not mean that's exactly when the cycle closed out. It wasn't like Friday this happened and then Monday everything's all better. That's not the way it works. Wouldn't it be great if it did? I would love that. It'd be like, please give me notice. But the universe has a way of working things out in divine timing. So that means that you may be experiencing things in different timing than your friends are, or your family members, or me. But what I know is that things from these, I think it's been decade-long cycles, patterns of behavior that I used to display are now closing out because I'm changing my mindset, things are changing. But it takes time. And so, I was one of those people who's like, 2020 is going to be amazing. And I expected it to happen January 1st. And the first 2 months of 2020 have absolutely knocked me on my butt. I'm like, whoa, what is this? Things were supposed to get better. So if you were like me and you just expected 2020 is going to be amazing. And then the first 2 months you're like, no, this is not how 2020, I want to redo, I want to start over. Well, there's a reason for that. It's because the cycles are still closing. You're still experiencing the finishing up of old karmic cycles, and we're still going to have an awesome 2020, I promise you. But there's no guarantee that it's going to start March 1st or April 1st. We just don't know. It takes as long as it takes. And that's frustrating. If you're like me, I'm so a type of person that's like, tell me now. I want to know now. I wanted to know yesterday. Give me this. I don't want to be in the dark. I need to know. And so many of my lessons in this lifetime have been about patience and having faith without actually knowing what's going to happen. And so many things in my life have been this way. When I was writing my book, I didn't know if it was ever actually going to be a book. I didn't know if there was, going to be a publisher out there. I had the privilege of being on Heather Doran's Facebook page this weekend. We did a live together on her taxes page. And she was asking me about my book. So we were talking about this. She said, how did you know that, you're able to write a book? I'm like, I did not know. I didn't know. I just kind of sat down and started writing. But I had to have some kind of faith that I was being guided to do this for a reason and that it would all work out. And in so many things in my life, I've had to have this unwavering faith that even though I couldn't see things happening, I had to know that things were happening. And so if you're like me and 2020 kind of started off for you as like a whoa, what the hell is happening here kind of a moment. It was like January seemed like it was 80 years long, and February has just flown by, but At the same time, we've had so many drastic changes in our lives, like my family and I, and they haven't always been good. But I do truly believe that there's a lesson in everything, and that there's a reason that things happen, and things are closing out, and new chapters are getting ready to open, and probably things that we couldn't have predicted. So it's important, if you're having a 2020 like I am, that you have patience with yourself, and that you continue to hold on to the unwavering faith that though you can't see that things are shifting and changing for the better for you, they are, and that you continue to have that faith. You know, we often talk about what I like to call tower moments, and those are moments in life when it seems like everything crumbles down around you. And you would think that this is happening and it's a bad thing, and that what am I going to do now? But I talk about this in my book, which is why I think my book is not really going to be just for people who've gone through a breakup or a divorce. It's for anyone who's gone through a difficult time in their life. When tower moments happen, those moments where it seems like the universe comes in and just totally knocks you on your butt, they happen for a reason. Things have to be knocked down and destroyed so that they can be rebuilt and made better and stronger. And that's happened to me so many times in my life. And I know that things are happening in this way, again, it's not the universe going, okay, let's see how many ways we can torture Melissa today. Let's try this. Let's see if this tortures her. It's not about that. It feels like it sometimes. Sometimes you may just want to throw your hands up and be like, stop it. Okay, I know you say that I will never give you more than you can handle. You're giving me more than I can handle. I know that a lot of people feel like that and they want to say that. But truly, the universe does not give us more than we can handle. What we find out is what we're made of, how strong we are, how resilient we are, if we're able to bounce back. And it's not always easy, and sometimes it's a struggle, and it takes longer for you to get through certain things, and that's okay. There's never a timetable that says you have to have gotten through everything in 2 weeks. Like, nobody does that. That's not the way the universe operates. It's our humanness, again, that tells us we have to have everything figured out by this time. And that's ridiculous. Our whole society is set up in a way that we have to have a timetable for everything. By 18 years old, you need to know what you want to be and have a job out there. This is the thing that is so crazy. I don't know where we just picked this age that you're an adult now. But obviously, again, it doesn't happen that like you turn 18 on Tuesday and on Wednesday you have everything figured out. Wouldn't that be nice if that's how it worked? But no, it's not how it works. And I think it's incredible because, so one of the things that is happening for us is we're scrambling to try to figure out how we can kind of recover financially from, my children's father passing away. There was nothing for them. Of course, he did not think a single thing about their financial future. And so it just like immediately financial help stopped. And so I'm contacting people I know like, well, is there anything we can do to help them, And every answer was, well, if they weren't 18, yes, there's a lot of things out there. But the fact that they're 18 takes all of that away. And I just think, really? Wow, they turned 18 like 2 weeks ago. So suddenly now they're not entitled to any kind of assistance because they're just 18 and that's just the way it is. And it's just crazy because that's how our society works. It's not how the universe works. And it's just so crazy that it's like, okay, let's come up with this date that this is the age. And that just seems just so bizarre to me that we do that in our society. But I think it's interesting because we feel like we have to have things figured out by a certain time. Yet, again, the universe does not work that way. So we need to start being more patient with ourselves. We need to understand that if we're not seeing things change as quickly as we would like to see it, it doesn't mean it's not happening, and it doesn't mean that we should be giving up. It means, if anything, it means you need to have even more faith, that you need to be even more determined. Things are happening. But sometimes we get in our own way. We really do tend to do that because we feel like we have to get in there and control it and say, okay, I need it to happen by Friday. And the universe is like, well, what's Friday? That's nothing to us. Like, we don't know. Because time is so different. It's just not even a concept that we can even compare, because here it's very much like Friday at 9 a.m. at this time. And the universe is just like, well, I'm going to bring it to you, but you need to be patient because I don't know what Friday is. Like, it's going to get to you when it gets to you. But our impatient human side's like, can we hurry this along? Can you do this? Can you whatever? We don't want to rush the universe. It's like when you make a really good meal. If you make a really good roast, you can't make a really good roast in an hour. It'll be tough and chewy. It's not going to have the flavor that you want it to have. Any like good roast or good kind of meat that you have and that you cook, you have to cook low and slow, right? It takes hours. And this, like, the more care you put into it and the longer it takes, the better it tastes. And it's the same thing with what the universe brings you. If you try to rush the universe and you're like, bring me this by Friday, you're going to get this crappy, overcooked thing that's like, this is not really what I wanted. You know, if you're asking for a new job, you're going to get a job where you're like, well, it's okay. It's not like my dream job. Or if you're asking for a soulmate and you rush into it, you're going to get somebody who's like hasn't done all of their healing work yet, and they're going to be projecting things on you because you rushed it. They weren't ready. Timing wasn't right. And I have certainly seen this in my own life where I've been like, okay, come on now, I gotta get this, I need this. And then when I wasn't patient and I didn't wait, I got like a result that was less than fulfilling. But when I have patience and I take my time and I say, okay, universe, you know, whatever you need to do or whoever you need to align for me, whatever needs to happen, I'm just going to be patient. I know it's coming. Thank you. And I'm going to try to focus on, you know, the fact that it's already here, and I'm going to do my other stuff, and I'm not going to spend too much time thinking about this one thing, obsessing, right? I'm just going to move on and live my life. And when I do that, it's like all of a sudden things show up and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was even better than what I could have ever imagined. And it's because I allowed the universe to do what the universe does best, which is provide for us. But when I try to get in there and I'm like, I got to control this, I get a less than pleasant result. And I really have to be better about just relaxing, just going with the flow. And so this January, February, these closing out of cycles, like this having to wait and ride this out, you know, again, I thought, okay, 2020 is going to come in and it's going to kick ass and it's going to be amazing and it's going to be so cool, and not so much. But I know it's coming. And I know that there are things that I have to go through first, lessons I have to learn before I can get to the good stuff. Not that I don't already have good stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm tremendously blessed with a lot of amazing things around me. And it's knowing that even more of that's coming in, and just sitting here and being patient and gentle with myself and taking care of myself until it shows up. And not being like, what's going on? Where are my blessings? Blessings are all around you. But if you're going through some difficult stuff right now, and a lot of people are, you just need to have patience with yourself, knowing these things are happening to help you level up. You're going to the next level, which means there's a lot of crap that you're not going to be taking with you. But in order for you to leave it and leave it behind, you've got to go through it. You've got to feel the pain in order to heal it. That old, you've got to feel it to heal it is true. You really do. Pain serves a purpose. And so many people want to take a magic pill and press a button and have to skip through the lessons. And I'm so sorry to tell you that you can't. You can try all you want. Even if you somehow manage to get through this life not having to learn your lessons, you will have to learn them in another. And it's my belief it's easier and better just to get it over with. When I was in school, my last name being Oatman, it started with an O. I was in the middle of the alphabet, and every time we would have a speech or something we'd have to get up and do, they would always go in alphabetical order. So it didn't matter if they started with the A's or they started with the Z's. I was always right in the middle, and I always wanted to get it over with first. And I was so grateful for teachers who would say, we'll take volunteers to go first, because I would be up there. Because what would happen is the more people who would go, I'd sit there and get more and more nervous. And if you just get up there and get it over with, then it's done, and I could relax for the rest of the class time and just enjoy listening to everyone else's. So I was always that person who's like, let me do it first or second. I didn't really want to go first, but second, I'm like, let me go second or third so I can get it over with, and I'm not sitting here worrying the rest of class. And I feel like that's how it is with our lessons. If we would just say, okay, let me get it over with, and then I'll be done, and then I don't have to carry this lesson around with me for the rest of my life. That's better. So we may have the human urge to resist learning our lessons, but if we would seriously just do it, it would be so much better. It's like this past week, I've tried to be strong for my kids, and that included trying to not get emotional and that. But I have had to. I've had to, in my moments, have my moments where I just lose it and cry and get out every emotion. I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm this, I'm that. Getting out every emotion, because it's not good to hold it in. And in the same way, when we try to resist learning and we're just I'm just going to move on and not take time to heal and not take time to deal with what's been happening, it's not going to go away. And I talk about this in my book. You're going to end up ugly crying in public, and that's embarrassing. So don't do that to yourself. Take the time to heal from your lessons. I believe these first few months of January and February in 2020 have been about trying to heal all that stuff that we don't want to see in the next decade. If you've had any lessons that you're wrapping up because you don't want to bring that stuff, you don't want to bring the relationship mistakes that you've made before, you don't want to bring the job you hated, you don't want to bring the lack of happiness, all of the bad habits you've been carrying, you don't want to bring any of that stuff into 2020. So these first few months are all about wrapping all of that up. And I wish that I could tell you that January 1st, 2020, everything would have been better and shifted and you just moved. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did. But I can tell you that 2020 is going to be an awesome year. And once you finally start wrapping up all of those lessons, you're going to be stepping into an amazing new cycle. But it's up to you what that cycle is going to look like. Is it going to be positive? Or are you going to have a lot of negative stuff? That really depends on you. We create our reality with our thoughts. So if you're focused on all the bad things and hurt and pain and not forgiving people and doing the same things over and over and expecting different results, you're going to have a pretty miserable 2020. But if you decide to start doing the work, changing your mindset, letting go of the stuff that no longer serves you, forgiving those you need to forgive, all of that stuff, then 2020 is going to be an awesome year for you. And it's going to kick off a decade of amazing stuff. It really is, because I truly believe when we do the work, the universe rewards us for that. The universe is like, oh my gosh, you've done an amazing job here. And it's coming. It really is. Don't give up on it yet. It's just we've got to clear out the rest of the old stuff. It's like my closet. That is a project waiting for me that I need to clean out, and I know I need to do it. It's one of those things that I just don't even want to look at, but I know I have to do it. And I know that when I do, it's going to feel so much better, and I'm going to be so happy, and I'm going to be rewarded with the fact that I don't dread going to that closet and looking at it and going, you need to clean this out. In the same way, we clean out our old stuff, clean out old patterns of behavior, old thought patterns, everything. We're going to be so much better. And you're going to feel better for it too. So you may be experiencing the endings of all of those karmic cycles right now, and it may feel like, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on, and why am I feeling so all over the place? Be gentle with yourself. It's not going to last for that much longer. We just are shedding the old. We want to shed the old. We don't want to bring all of those old stories into 2020. You deserve to live a life that's amazing, and that's not going to happen if you're just constantly bringing that old stuff with you. It's just not. It's like a complete makeover for your soul, and you deserve that. So do what you need to do to work on yourself, whether you need to do meditations, tappings, whatever. And if you haven't signed up for my program, Love Your Life, for a few more days, it's $33 because I just feel like so many people need to take advantage of this. It is truly like a makeover for your soul. And it's all individual lessons that you just do on your own when you feel like it. But there's so many tools to help you. Or even if you buy my book, there are so many cool journaling prompts in there to help you kind of figure out, what do I want to do with my life? How do I get my life back on track? And I'm working on a program now that I'm tentatively calling You Are Lovable, but it's going to be a self-love course. And it's going to help you figure out how to change those patterns of behavior, change the way you see yourself. Because so many of us, we see the behavior that we've done in the past as who we truly are, and it's not who we are. It was the behavior that we displayed, but that doesn't mean that's who we are. This course is designed to help you break free from what others have told you that you are and discover who you truly are, which is a beautiful and amazing soul. So be looking for that coming in the future. I'm also going to have Heather Doran back on my podcast to talk about money stories one day this week. So be looking for that. I pulled a card for you for me to read for you before I left today, and it's from my Divine Whispers deck, and it's Boundaries Are Beautiful. And boundaries, that's one of the things I talk about a lot in my program, because having healthy boundaries really is so super important. And it's important when you love yourself to set boundaries to show other people how you want to be treated. So it says setting healthy boundaries is a beautiful thing, because when we set healthy boundaries, we are teaching others how to treat us. The universe is asking you to take a look at your boundaries right now. Do you even have any? You, beautiful soul, deserve to enjoy your life. You can't be happy and enjoy your life if you're always saying yes to things you don't want to do. When you say yes to others, you're saying no to your inner child, and your inner child wants to play. Don't allow anyone else to walk all over you. You are not a doormat. You are a beautiful, talented, and beloved child of the divine. Don't ever forget that. You are not required to set yourself on fire in order to warm others. The mantra for this card is, I honor my boundaries. I let go of what is not mine and hold firm in my truth. No is a complete sentence. I'm allowed to be myself and show others who I am. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank you so much for being with me. I hope that you have a beautiful day. As always, if you like this podcast, please share it. Please subscribe. Please leave reviews. The best, really, and the highest honor you can give me is to refer me to other people. So whether that's leaving reviews for my services on Facebook, or leaving reviews for my book on Barnes & Noble or Amazon or Goodreads, wherever you purchased it, or leaving reviews for my podcast, all of that is so super helpful to me. That's really how people find me, is through reviews. And I want to thank you so much for all of you who've done that. I really, truly appreciate that. And I send positive energy to all of you. And I want to thank you to those of you who work with me. I have such an amazing following, and I want to thank you all. You're all so beautiful. If you want to work with me, there's so many ways you can work with me. Just go to my website, melissaoatman.com. If you subscribe there on my website, you'll receive a free morning and evening meditation, just as my gift of saying thank you for subscribing. Also, you can take a look at the services I offer. There's now an offering page, and from that page, you can purchase any session with me. Once you purchase it, just contact me so we can set up your session. Also, for the month of March, I've had specials each month. So for March, it's going to be past life regressions. So I have a special on my past life regressions. If you go to my website, you will see they are on sale for 30% off. You can see what they originally cost and what they are now. So if you would like to get in on one of those, past life regressions are great ways to help heal old past wounds, things that we brought with us from other lifetimes that we still need to heal. And what a great way to do that. I mean, this is a great time to do that. We're talking about closing out old karmic cycles and really getting everything in order for 2020 to be an amazing year. So get a past life regression and we can work on healing that stuff, those behavior patterns that you keep repeating from lifetime to lifetime. Plus, it's just really interesting. I think past life regressions are so fascinating. Also, I am going to leave my Love Your Life course on sale for a little bit longer. I just feel like I'm guided to do that. If you guys have had the year that I've had, I think people need some services. So I'm just going to leave that open for anyone who needs it. They can still get in on that. And you can work with me one-on-one with coaching. I want to thank you so much for being here with me. As always, follow me on social media. I go live on Facebook Mondays at 5:30 Central. I will not be going live this Monday. I'm still taking a little more time for my family, but I will hopefully be back next week. And I will post videos to Instagram, so just check all of that out. I love you guys so much. I am sending you so much love and light. I'm hoping that you have a beautiful and positive day, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.